you go to that settings, it should tell you which microphone. Go to there.
I mean, I think we're already on. We're live.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're
Sure live. Hey guys, how you? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! So here we are, guys. So we made it. Hello everyone. How you doing today, Bill?
Good.
Good. Good. How are you? Hi everybody. Thanks for joining us here. We got to a little bit late start here. We were sitting here talking and whatnot, and we realized we did not have our microphones with. So I think we're on here. I gotta figure this out. Some days I have a hard time. Divide by Zero says he's way too early. I don't know if anybody's here. Divide by Zero is here. Hello, you guys. Welcome in.
How are you guys doing? Do us a favor and audio check if you can hear it and it's clear. Otherwise, we're just gonna riff to the cameras aren't on and we're just gonna talk. So,
yeah.
So we haven't been able to coordinate schedule or get anything really like figured out since like December. You know, the holidays, and you had New Year's, and then we went up. We'll talk about it later. Went to Tropical Splash, which was really a lot of fun. It was a cool event. We've done a few things, but we kind of just like today was talking about what was 25 for you? What are you looking for 26? Do you have any personal goals? Do you have any dreams you want to do? Is there anything that you want to, so I think we'll riff on that. We got some games to play. We'll have some fun. Yeah,
this is pretty cool. We'll sit here and chat for a little bit, wait for some people to come on in here.
Thank you, Zero.
152. It's right on. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll try to wait for a little bit of people to get in here. Divide by Zero will be on next week.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So
next week I should get that posted up. We'll be talking about the Ultrasinos.
And somebody was asking in the comments on that what you had posted. It says like and share, and it's a link to the Facebook Uncle Joe's Fish Head is to like and share that. Not and then once so basically share that. There's no actual post for the fish that's involved with that.
I'll probably should make a post too, that way it can get spread and maybe some more people in there.
And something we were just talking about, we wanted to reach out to anybody that gets to see this, and hopefully we'll talk about it a little bit more, is we want to do some follow-ups on the 60 breeder Imaginarium tanks. So put your ear to the ground. If there's something you see, somebody's talking about, you see a post, try and put them in touch with us. Uncle Joe's Fish Shed at Gmail, right?
Yes.
And YT as in YouTube Aqualust at Gmail. Or just please just try and hook us up. We're trying to put a video together. We've got some more information we want to share, and and how we feel it's really not being handled correctly. So really the consumer's taking a beating here. So I think as we advocate for it and more people talk about it, we can kind of fix things. So hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I'm glad those are still up there.
in front of us over our heads.
So what did you just for the past, what have you been up to?
Well, I did an interview with Mexicali.
I watched that.
Right. That was a lot of fun. I did one video about the UNS 35A, the cube tank, that kind of problems that you have with them, stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. And I'm really just enjoying my YouTube journey and creating content, looking for stuff that's fun to make, and I want to enjoy myself doing it too.
Yeah, your videos are good that you make. The UNS one's really super good. I like it a lot. Yeah.
But you had some cool shorts go up. You had some funny things.
I did, I shorts. Yeah, so a little bit, I talk about the fish clubs and stuff and how to keep the youth involved and stuff like that. And then talking with the youth in the fish clubs, our vice president at our club is pretty young, Josh.
Yeah.
And talking to him and talking to other people, customers and stuff, and they're like, get a TikTok. So I did, and I put some shorts together. It's really fast for me. I don't get it. But it's good, I guess. I'm learning how to edit a little bit and stuff like that. So that's been fun. As far as fish and everything, some big stuff for us to put up on the channel coming up. What I did this week, I went and picked up some more stock. I'll talk about that stuff later, probably maybe not even on here. But I went over and did a fish room tour from a guy, Trey. We'll talk more about him later, who collects wild fish in Uruguay brings him back to one of the most epic fish rooms I have ever been in.
He sent me some pictures. I haven't seen a lot of it. I've been so busy. He's been sending me content, and I'm supposed to go through and look at it. But just this, I mean, perfect. Just a rack of tanks, all beautiful plumbing. Like, I totally appreciate the workmanship that went into it. And that was just like a little snippet of a backside of a road.
That's all I wanted to show you.
Yeah, yeah.
And he wanted to show me so
Yeah.
bad, and I had, I was there for a long time, picking up new stock, checking out. Right when you walk in and after talking to him, you just you can tell sometimes you're like, oh yeah. And for sure, I'm really excited to be able to carry his fish, so it's cool. He wanted to show me his water system, and I kept myself from letting him show me, but I'm sure the second time he shows it to me, or the third or the fourth, he'll just deliver it the same way. But this is something you have to see, and he's excited to show it off. I'm excited to put the fish room tour up. We'll have him on with breeder series or whatever we've been talking about, collector series, something neat like that.
Yeah, we got, we have a few people just in our local area breeding some great fish.
Oh,
and that's what we want to get them in on the channel, kind of share them with everybody, get their fish out there. That's a great thing. And it really, with a lot of that fish room build information, like for me, like my stuff's in my living room. Like, I don't have a big fish room like this, but I totally appreciate the workmanship that goes into these things. I mean, maybe later in life I'll end up building a garage fish room, Yeah,
but how do you even deal with that, with all the water and the plants? And a couple of your tanks probably cost to maintain the same as half of this.
We would talk, Mexicali and I in the interview were talking about the cost of Aquascape tanks and Planet tanks, and I'm looking at tearing down the 40 breeder. It's getting kind of over aged, and the Bucephalandra, and I'm looking through old pictures and like, wow, it's really, I've got plants. I commented on that. I probably spent $500 on plants, and I now probably have a few $1,000s in plants. So and it's like, now what do I do? It's like, they're not really getting too big, but they're beautiful.
Plant page up on the website.
What I was thinking is that we're gonna have to sell some furniture in Mom's China, and that'll make room for another fish tank. And I got
put the plants in there, or we can sell your plants.
Yeah, well, let's see.
People would like. I mean, look at you. He buys it. You guys, no plant left behind. It's like him and the plants were in the Marines together. If you ever have plants or need a buck, it does. It could like. Did you guys ever see Charlie Brown Christmas? Like, for real. But it's okay.
There was a fern going for sale at the auction, and it was $3, and nobody was buying it. And I said, fine.
Yeah, it happens. I do that sometimes with fish. So yeah, also other things. I got in new fish and stuff like that. Shipping fish out, since with the weather now again, it got crazy, and then we had weather before, so we couldn't do it. That's been going great. Massive amount of stuff came in today. I've got to show you guys the picture. The most exciting thing for me, and I'm super excited, like just like this, like super excited, and even more excited that he came over and I was able to have him here at my house. I just love this. Is you guys, I'm sure you guys know who he is. LRB Lucas Bretz came over today and walked in here and basically said, wow.
Yeah, that's
nice.
Nice
and it felt really good. I mean, I know I put a lot of work into this, but he's got some nice stuff.
He's got some. I mean, listen, unfortunately, dude, hit the other shot. Pull this other camera up that we have here so they can see that. I mean, we try and take a shot of the camera that works. I mean, like, he just did all this new racking over here. He's always working on something, and it's very clean in here. It's tile floor, so it can be clean, but it's always clean. It's never a mess, and it's not a big space, but it's well used. It's well covered, and it's really, like I said in Mexicali, I'm always like staring at a tank that's right over there. It's right off camera.
Yeah.
But we do the shot try and do a shot that kind of fits the physical area, because it's a small area that the two of us don't fit side by side and on camera on very well.
Yeah, it's a small area. I wish it was bigger, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to utilize this. I wanted to change this around. So even better than having him come here and say, wow, though, for me, I bred a lot of fish, is to be able to have him come to pick up some of my fish for him to take home to his collection and to sell or to add, you know, whatever he's going to do with the ones that he bought that I bred, that's also really, really cool.
Yeah.
So that means a lot to me, and it just does, and I guess it just reiterates the things that me and you talk about all the time, making sure about where you get your stock and having quality and taking care and taking time and appreciating what you have. I forget the camera's up higher now, so I have to look up higher. And just appreciating what you have. And so that was really cool. That is my big stuff for the week, which I just think was super cool since Christmas. So besides that, it's just been dead right cold.
Well, it's been dead. It's been dead cold, right?
Should we see if anybody else came in and said hi yet?
Yeah.
All right, let's look. We're gonna check the chat, you guys. Otherwise, me and Bill will just sit and talk. We haven't talked much, or we do on the phone, but like this for a while because it's been so cold.
Yeah, no, the cold. And so when it was 60 degrees out, I'm a Higer affiliate, so I got Jody a 1,000-watt heater. We put it in the outdoor tank, and we got to finish shooting the video that we've been waiting for this cold to set in. So this cold is finally set in, so it'll give you an opportunity for us to kind of shoot that. But the idea was that, you know, it didn't really need it. He would move the livestock if needed, you know, but the idea was that, you know, like, hey, we got a chance to see if we can really put this thing through some paces.
It works.
Yeah, to just buy something and stick it in a tank is nothing. It's like, how do I tell you it's a good product? I got to see it work.
Excuse me.
You know, and it's a heater, you know, so.
Yeah.
You know, but we got that stuff going on.
Divide by zero, just with what you were saying there. I'm going to check some of these comments. I'm going to throw this up here. So, had some friends in Tampa saying there's a large amount of snook tarpon. Oh, that's not even the comment I wanted to bring up, but I assume that. But I saw they were getting prepped for this, and now there's a little bit more confirmation because I did see one thing about it. I heard something really sad today, fish related. Apparently, we have a huge fish. Kill from at the farms and stuff, and it is cold. We're even south from that, and how cold the water was getting here, being out in the sun all day, then covered up. I even went out and put towels on top of the rice fish and stuff. The rice fish were fine, but some of my other fish that are usually fine all the time, they did pass. I left a couple out there just to see. The rest of them I brought inside. The rice fish were fine like that, but yeah, I would suppose that there's going to be a lot of fish dying. It's as cold as it ever has been. What are you guys doing to keep up with this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious because we heard from a few people that were involved in that bad snow, and they lost fish because they had no power for days, they had no heat. You know, there's been tons of big problems with this temperature. And, you know, what are you doing? I mean, for us, it's been, you know, it's been unseasonably cold.
There is a couple people in here. Yay,
so,
yay. Hello, sweet Polly. How are you doing today? Night Owl Aquatics. Hello, Moat. Hello. Dee Dee is in the house.
Oh,
yay. Southwest Florida treasure collecting. I can't wait. And he is in the house also. There he is. And of course, divide by zero, and we know that divide by zero
next week.
Get
Get ready.
You guys, what are you guys doing for, like, what did you guys do for this? Now, I brought this up a while ago back, and I think I was working on here, put the space heater in. We have to bring that up too. That was a nightmare. Be careful if you're heating your house, you guys. But what are you guys doing for it? Like you have a couple tanks and you run heaters. We brought that up. Higers, I have my water getting down below 70 degrees in here, 66. The one morning when I came in here, upper tanks in 68. A little bit of fish die off. It is what it is.
Well,
I think I might have missed it. I don't know.
Well,
but so I bought space heaters.
Yeah.
The first one failed. I went and got the same one. I figured, oh, it was something. The second one, the cord went limp on it. It was so hot I could barely get it unplugged.
Yep. You gotta be careful.
So, and the electric here is fine. I got another one. Then besides that, then you can get stuff too warm. I don't know. I mean, check and yeah. So I'm just curious what you guys are doing to
exactly.
deal with that.
Yeah, run a space heater just in the necessity, because I kind of I keep the room. So we were talking with friends like, oh, did you break and you turn on the heat, and I'm like, yeah, I got fish tanks.
Yeah.
Like it's not and so the tanks do have heaters in them, but the reality is that it's more expensive for me to actually run all the heaters for all the tanks and trying to maintain a tank temperature in a cold room. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I got cement floors. It's like
it's still winter here.
Yeah,
I'm from up north originally, and cold is cold. And when it's cold in Florida, you're cold.
Yeah,
it's just different. Hello.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
Because we have a microphone. See, look at that.
Sweet Polly. Now it says we are. Maybe something timed out. We're on the other microphone. Sweet Polly did no good, it says still. It shows on our side. We're still having
Moto B.
I thought no, I said okay now. I thought Moto B flipped us off. I was like, somebody flipped us off.
I would have too.
We are still having internet problems.
Well, yeah. So was it 2 weeks ago that we came here and we tried to do it and we couldn't even maintain. We just did a test run when that whole Verizon thing happened, and he's got Verizon internet, and it's been rough ever since. So if we break up and stuff, and this ping rate, he was telling me about it. His Call of Duty ping rate was terrible.
It's yeah. So I mean, which is really good. It's still fair for people, but if you guys play video games, we can run 3 Xboxes here at the house, and our latency is 37 to 43, as low as it can be. We just get in and we can run 3 games, 3 different systems, playing different various games. And I tried to hop on with 100 the other night, so we're having an issue. They've been having issues since it happened, and so we're just going to switch.
Yeah, so eventually we'll get something, but
Sweet Polly on the way to timeout. I'm glad you guys can hear us.
Yeah, don't know what happened, but anyway,
right on.
So so we talked about the cold and what everybody's doing. So we did. Let's talk about Tropical Splash.
That was
That
fun.
was a lot of fun.
I had
So
fun.
we drove up, we took a road trip, drove to Orlando, the east side. So for us, about 3 hours, a little over 3 hour drive, not too
not
bad.
too bad.
And get there and just a big room. So I have a ton of video. I'm gonna have to edit it down. We've just been really crazy, but we'll put the video up from Tropical Splash. But just to kind of recap everything, lots of fish, lots of plants.
Talk to a couple people there.
Talked to a bunch. It was a bunch of, Grant was there, LRB was there. We were just talking about Ryan was there. Ryan Kenny was there.
Who else was there?
There was a bunch of people there. It was, and Matt put on the show. What's Matt's last
Matt
name?
Mills from
Matt Mills.
yeah.
So thank
Space
you for
Coast.
putting
Greg's Fins and Only Paws did the bull show.
Yep, there was a bowl show.
There was a bowl show.
Really cool auction. So the auction.
Right.
So what they did, which I thought was really a cool idea. So when you showed up and you checked in your stuff, they labeled all your stuff, so they knew what was what. And at that point, you got a QR code and scanned an app, and then went through on your phone, and you could pick out. So you were online, you're like, yeah, I want this. So your bidder card, you write your notes on it, and then you would basically be able to put a reminder in the app, and you can see what's coming up, and see what things sold for. It was really, really well done and put together. And man, they moved a lot of stuff. And I mean, it was 4 hours, but it was they moved a lot of bags of fish and plants, and there were a lot of really nice fish, some really heavy, big sales. So it was a good experience. I had a really good time.
Yeah,
I bought some plants. You bought some fish. What did you buy? Come on, tell them.
Well, it's cute.
You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them what you bought.
But it's cute, isn't it?
It's cute. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I bought a clown knife fish.
But he's got a tank that would take it.
Like it can go in here for a while. So the thing is it's going to get really big, and it's going to outgrow most people's tanks that were there.
Yeah.
So I feel that I did it a service, and I'm going to let it live with Big Paku and Pee Face, and they're going to live in the pool. So I think it's going to be really fun. He's next to me right now eating and splashing water on me. He's in quarantine, so he's in a pretty small tank. Maybe you guys can see a picture of him later, but I quarantine my stuff in small tanks. He's only maybe like 7 inches.
Yeah, he's not.
But
funny.
That was really good. It was really well put together. Matt did a great job. From the program, I forgot Mishka's program and website name. You know what? I got to remember to add stuff into the links when we're done too. But he helped run that too, and that was the software and the computer program they were running with the auction. That's so slick. I didn't partake in that part. I get confused and I use it for an excuse. I manually did it, but you can actually. And then I was looking at it. You can get the fish ahead of time.
So this was done. This was put together. It was in a Holiday Inn in one of their banquet rooms, and so they had a display. So they would pick it up, they would look at it, and they have 2 auctioneers, so they would have enough time to look at what's coming up and describe it. Then at the same time, it would go into a photo box, and then they would display that image on the screen behind them. So wherever you were in the room, you could actually see it. I mean, it was just, in this conversational sense, it was like the nicest auction I've ever been to. I gotta say that. It was the best run. It went flawlessly. I mean, we run a very good auction at Fort Myers.
Oh yeah.
We have a very fast moving. It's very good. And, Rick's great. Great at it. Just keeps it flowing.
Yeah, they had a technical glitch in the beginning, but I think that was it doesn't matter.
It was a few minutes, and then they were right on.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. So we got to do that. That was a fun thing.
They had a bowl show. Only a few people signed up for that. More people usually do. Maybe if it was promoted a little more ahead of time. I didn't really hear about it until like the very end.
And a lot of people said that they didn't hear about it until after the fact. But there's so many factors involved in what's going on in the world. And so needless to say,
I won third place.
You won 3rd place. You were in the bowl show.
Third.
I had a 1st place guppy at one of these shows.
We quiet about all this. You did. It's fact.
It was the only guppy in the contest.
So those guppies. So sometimes
they're for sale.
Sometimes we think we know things, and then sometimes somebody who we think or we know is smarter than us comes and tells us something, and then we roll with it, and we're like, "Dang, I was wrong about those fish. And then somebody smarter than that person that really knows what they're talking about comes in and sees them and says, oh, those are wrong. And then you go back to what they are. So they are, in fact, what I always had thought they were. I haven't verified. I think they were just showing poor color up in the bag up there. They're definitely Ginga sulphurus guppies. They're not Ginga rubra.
Sulphurus, yeah.
Sulphurus, yeah.
Okay. So Ginga sulphurus. They were cool looking. They trashed my UNS tank. Go watch the video.
Yeah. It's a good video. It's a good video. We'll link that up in here too. We should probably link more of your stuff up on the channel. I think people would like that. Let's see if anybody.
If you want to watch it, you're gonna watch it. You don't have to.
I watch it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Hey, I did not know this. This is actually super cool. This makes me smile. Hey, thanks, Mishka. So, hey. So, it'll be even nicer next year. Mishka, thank you so much for coming and checking in. You guys, this is who I was talking about. There was a little computery glitch that he fixed. I'm not saying it was anything he did. It was just something he fixed, computer glitch. Yeah. But it was, it's super exciting to be working with this club because they're so much. They're all the way up in the other corner, which brings me to. I'm looking forward to working with Matt, who I was telling you about this, and they kind of signed us up for it, which is Aquashella. To work with the fish clubs, fish clubs to have a booth. You know, guys, I'm all about fish clubs, and I talk about this all the time. And then I was talking with Matt before the auction, and I know Matt runs a fish club, so you have to be into it and have to like it. I like to look down at the computer, and then he was telling me about. I was telling him about some things I want to do and what we want to do. And he's like, well, we're going to do this thing at Aquashella, and we have a booth, and we're going to help promote the fish clubs, and we're going to go there and teach people and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, wow, sign us up.
Yeah.
Like, what a great idea.
A big part of the mission statement was that, was fish clubs and promoting the more positive parts of the hobby with interaction, that it's about a shared information, knowledge, and fish keeping is a very personal, private thing. And there's a lot of people that are very recluse. That we were at Tropical Splash. Asked some people if they would be on camera. They said no, and I totally respect that. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's no obligation. But at the same, it is a pretty private thing. So it's kind of hard. You're asking a lot of people to interact. But I think the idea is that the grassroots side of it really gives us a lot of balance and promotes a lot for breeding quality, and it not just being about money, and that there's a fair market value to things, but of equality. It's nothing like we've had many conversations about like neon tetras. They've been so overworked as a bred fish, right? That it is their horrible death rate, right? So I would recommend cardinal tetras. Looks almost the same, great fish.
They're absolutely beautiful,
beautiful fish. And so, but it's like overworking the fish leads to bad lines, right? And so it's like what a lot of people are realizing, and they've talked about extensive, like rice fish, is that rice fish that live outside and go through a few cycles are culling. You're culling the weak fish that don't make it through the cold. So the ones that make it through the cold breed.
These guys are reading their
So the whole thing is that you get stronger fish that way by not completely catering to them, if you will.
Yeah.
So, but there is a lot to be said, about each way. You could be breeding for an attribute for looks that isn't really great for survival. So there's a bunch of things to take consideration, but. My first aquarium, right?
No, I can't wait to get my first
Aquashella. I can't see it's so far away.
Survived by Zero says, I can't wait to get my first aquarium in March.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you,
that's even
getting
funnier.
your first aquarium is a huge step. Don't take this lightly, but please don't wait until March. Jump in right now, run to your local store and grab one if you don't have one. In March. Yeah, talk to us. I think I brought that up to Anthony already. And I also told Matt that we'd come up with enough people to man our shift, but this is so easy.
I mean, we can manage.
Yeah. We can just do it ourselves.
Yeah. Definitely. Let Fort Myers represent themselves. Everybody come up. I think that'd be great. And to take trips like that, like a Fort Myers Aquarium Society trip that we have coming up, we're going to Imperial Tropicals in April.
That's super
and we're
exciting.
Do a super cool. We're gonna do a fish tour of Imperial Tropicals. you know, on the DL, like this little spill that Saturday Corey from Corn Co-op is going to do speaking at our club.
Oh, that's
So,
tomorrow.
you
Or
know,
in 2 days.
in 2 days.
And that means
so,
tomorrow that
Yeah.
the Gold Coast Club should be leaving because I know they're going to a fish farm also.
oh yeah,
They're coming to our club to watch Corey.
nice.
I think a bunch of people from up north are coming, so we should be
Mhm.
pretty full up. So that's a good day to be selling plants.
It's good. Yeah, that's why I haven't been
Good
stocking
idea.
up. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Another bonus to Fish Club, guys. You guys can bring your plants there.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw them away or anything like that. You can get great plants.
They sell everything in house. We've seen equipment, tanks, lights, filters. I mean, we're pretty much buyer is on their own and equipment. Like, hey, just clean stuff. Like, don't be bringing me some nasty stuff into the building. You know, just make sure it's clean. It's kind of just being respectful of, you know, who you're buying, you know, from and how you treat your stuff.
Dude,
You know?
that's all I can do.
People
is
bring
go
me
like
used
that.
dirty filters.
You
Like,
There was water leaking
Yeah.
out it, and they put it in a box.
yeah. So yeah, so
If
But-
you guys are watching
Yeah.
on here, that's okay. We're talking about your wet, dirty box filter. That was horrible. I haven't seen them again.
where are you? Where are you? I can't read this. Where is this?
Bill needs to get glasses.
Yeah, I need to get glass. I'm in
Oh,
denial. It's
yeah,
not just a river in Africa.
So I've asked him before too, and I always forget when I ask. This a local guy that's Southwest Florida.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
wait, this is
We have a breeders award program that we're getting off the ground that you could kind of, you and Jody should go back and forth and just come. And the idea is that it promotes the club. You're
it's
breeding
fun.
fish. You're going to bring them to a meeting. You're going to give those fish to the club as your proof of breeding. And then the club is going to sell them at auction, and that profit and donation goes to the club. So it's about the greater good, you know, and getting great fish out into the hobby. But at the same time, it's you get like you get a couple of points, and then if you mass a certain amount, you certain rank. So I think that like the friendly competition of it all is a great idea. And so only because I'm really the one that would be the spearhead it. And by all means, if anybody else wants to in the club, please do it.
Do it.
Which is the like the plant side of the breeders.
Yeah.
So I forgot what
So
exactly.
that is another really good thing too. But yeah, Josh is he's working with the Breeders Award program. He's got it on lockdown.
Yeah.
And we have some really good breeders in the club. And we have some breeders that are really into it for the club. So we should have some nice fish coming up.
Some nice
So
fish
it's
going.
pretty
And
exciting.
I'm looking forward. We'll definitely be looking to do some more club swaps and stuff like that. So if you're in a local fish club and you're looking to do a fish swap with another club, by all means, contact us. We'll put it together.
You don't have to be a member to come and check out the club.
Nope.
So I don't think any of the fish clubs in the country you do.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
You're always welcome to come in and check them out.
There's a different pay rate on the auction items for members and non-members, and this way you can make it. Yeah, he's a little feisty in there, but it's a little bit different pay rate if you're a member or non-member. But most are very open, you know. And that's the idea. It gives you a chance to kind of see what it's about, see if it's a place you want to put your effort into, and so on and so forth. If you drive with everybody, if you come to ours, you got to put up with Jody. So, it's a trade-off for everywhere you go.
It can't be that bad. People keep coming.
I drive up plant prices.
You do. You do. That's okay though.
It's
good. It's good for the clubs.
They're very cheap plants. You want to save some money, buy some plants at an auction, the local auction, and learn how to propagate, and you'll be able to turn 10 times more. People you buy a ton of Anubis, you have no idea how much money goes into an aquascaping tank. We were talking about this. You'd probably, in a decent tank, you probably budget anywhere between $400 to $700 easily just in plants, not substrate, not hardscape. And if you're gonna do hardscape, you're buying pallets to get a few things. The perfect rock. You go through a pallet of stone. So yeah,
you got some pretty nice plants back there. So I think that one and that one, and there were $29.95, but there was 8 in the pack.
They're big.
They're big.
They're big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turtle likes them.
Yeah.
That's just they get expensive. Yeah.
So
they can, especially to get good ones.
So, what does it say?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I can't read it.
I'll have to read that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this is one time. A lot of the time it is really depend. Wait. Honestly, I'm not sure It is a one time. A lot of the time,
auction.
it's really dependent on how many items are on the auction. Oh, it does. It depends on who's there too.
Yeah.
It depends on when things go up. You know, you can have the best fish in the world that could go for a couple $100.
We've seen,
once you know,
at the auction.
some people actually are responsible and they already bought a fish, so it doesn't matter, and they would be high bidders, so then it stays to the end, and people are just out of money. That's why I can't stress to people, and I don't do this because I'm talking and in the way and got my mouth yapping. Check the fish, check the bags. Just because there's 3 bags of something too doesn't mean they're the same, doesn't mean it's the same quality. You know, just because they're at your fish club also doesn't mean they're the best fish. Fish clubs are open to the public.
Yeah.
So they're great.
Yeah. But you know, it's always part of it. But you know, you could have the same sort of troubles with, you know, a pet store. You know,
Southwest Florida Aquatics on the other. Aha, I thought so. I always forget that he's got that 2 different channels.
Oh,
so that, yeah, because I was like, yeah. Our community grow, help our community grow. Oh, hello, Fish Family. Thank you very much. You know, is this automatic?
It's probably automatic, but just like, hey, thank you. Fish Fam's a great supportive network, so great. You know,
I low-key like to help somebody. I think in my mind that somebody from Fish Family is like, oh, these guys are really cool. Let's go and tell everybody thanks.
Yeah,
I'll just keep thinking that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's your dream? What do you want? Like, what do you want to accomplish in 26? Like, what is your goal?
You know,
your fish goal for 2026.
Well, starting off the way we started off, really right now my main thing is just to keep everybody healthy and alive with it colder. I have the space heaters and stuff like that. I really want to. I think I'm going to slow back on some of my breeding projects that I have, take on and start learning a little bit more and putting a little bit more effort into the website and stuff like that, and education, and maybe myself learning and working with a couple species a little harder, therefore paying more attention to them, so I'm not going to have as many projects going on. But that way I can also utilize that space for you know, some of your guys' and other people's fish to utilize for the website and stuff like that. So I think my goal for this year is really, I think I'm gonna dive into egg scatters a little bit and just learn. I don't know if that sounds silly or not, but it started with the barbs.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I think that's, like we talked about this before, I think that's where the hobby's going. I think these big tanks like behind me and these big fish like that clownfish are on their way out. As I'm saying that, now I have obtained these big monster fish lately. It's just the weirdest thing ever.
I mean, you have the big tank inside the house that the people have seen on the 12 Days of Christmas. So what is that, a 150
in the house?
So you got 150 with the front tosa,
a couple hundred out back,
right, a couple hundred out back,
and then these guys are going into the big pool.
And then this will go into they'll move up, and then so we'll need to put something in there.
But so that is
yeah, so I mean,
I guess my goal is to continue to move forward and keep the same thoughts I have about stuff, but just work with some different fish. I'm also kind of into the rainbow fish. I got the coolest fish today. I got some cool fish today.
What'd you get today?
I got neon praecox. Now, I know I have neon praecox. I learned a lot about the neon praecox having these while I went through being sick, not sick. Now, they're not even supposed to be that big.
Okay.
They're getting bigger and bigger, and I got LRB brought me 4 of his neon praecox. Okay. A lot of people really want those, so I'm excited about that. I got sidetracked again. So I guess, and I want to like work and learn a little bit more about rainbow fish. That are kind of my goals this year, I guess. But more, I guess, really would be just to get the website up and keep doing this and be able to help
more
people.
Packages going out today. You're busy getting traction.
So yeah, those are good goals. How about you?
I want to deal with some furniture in the house that I've been just having to deal with it. It's a big to do, so I can kind of rearrange a few things.
Have you packed any of the china?
Well, it's all got to go for sale. That's the problem. It's like, so got to deal with all that, but I've categorized a lot of it, and like just need the last few yards, right?
You guys, we're gonna add a China page to the
China
website.
page.
Uncle Joe's used,
but ideally, what I really want to do is that I do want to break down the 40 breeder. I want to give a go at a Dutch style aquarium. And that'll be just so it's a style of growing plants in a tank, and they're in intentional sections. But I want to choose plants that will fill but not be green, and then we got the green barbs going in there. So like that project was a goal for the 40 breeder, and then basically at that point was the rearrangement allows me to start planning and saving for a show quality tank. So I probably won't be able to enter a competition probably till 27 because I want to spend 26 getting it and the equipment. It's not a cheap affair, you know.
It's exciting to be working
and then
on the barbs,
and then still be doing the other tanks, you know.
Yeah,
so
the barbs are just living up there, growing out. I picked the stock out for breeding, so the green barbs are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I would suppose I'll probably start working on those now to get some babies, get ready, so you can put a pile of babies in there.
Put a pile of babies and fill that up, and so that'll be cool. So that and build a competition worthy aquascape, and do some really unique stuff. I have some great ideas, but I want to feel like I have no pressure and no rush of time. I just want to be as creative as I can, not feel like, oh my God, I got to get these fish back in the tank. Like this is just an intentional project to do, not something that I want to be pushed into. Yeah, I rushed myself into all my fish tanks.
They look beautiful though, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the beta
tank can look nice.
The beta looks good.
I mean, like that was a good example. Like that wasn't. I was no rush. That fish was in a different tank. We had gotten the guppies out of the tank and all the shrimp out of the tank. So
that's a good video.
Yeah, it was easy to break it down, and then I had no rush to move the fish, so it was easier. I could take my time. I spent all day and enjoyed myself. I didn't feel rushed. So that was fun.
Back to what I was saying before, I jumped on it. I'm gonna, because we just run on sometimes, and I just get sidetracked. Not many people do keep barbs. I have the first video me and Bill made. I looked a little bit into barbs because I saw green barbs and I just really, really wanted to have green barbs. And I'm like, I think there's like 8 different barbs, Bill, No, man, they just keep going and going and going and going. More people do need to keep barbs. I think it's going to start pushing that way. That's why I've been building lots of groups and stuff. And just from the stuff I see, that, the planted tank, it goes back to the tanks, to the smaller nano tanks and the smaller fish. And I just think they're going to be picking up here. Breeding barbs, a lot of people say that the egg scatterers are hard and stuff, but yet the CPDs seem to be easy. And other ones, I mean, these were all bred. Most of the barbs and tetras that I have here, I do have a few wilds here, but they're mostly hobbyist bred.
I mean, I kind of agree that like the size of the fish, I think going like forward in the hobby has been picking up a lot of nano fish and small fish. Like we're not seeing new big fish, we're seeing new small fish.
Yeah.
And I think that is because the accessibility for people to have a small tank, a tabletop tank, is much more realistic, and a gateway into the hobby, is to get a 5-gallon tank, and we do a little cute aquascape on your desk at work, and you have 1 or 2 fish in it. And then you have like people like LRB, which will educate you. Like if you wanted a no filter aquarium, there is a way to do it, but it isn't like you just don't do what you want. There is a way to do it. And so like, yeah, you could have this cute, small, perfect tank if it was set up correctly. So, I mean, I think that's a great attraction to the hobby, and having the availability to have these micro fish, if you will, And so for me, in the aquascaping world, we don't want big fish because it throws the scale off.
Yeah.
So, but in the same, there are some really cool fish I want to keep, and that I come in here and I oogle and I like that and that.
That's why That's
You
why
know?
the frontoses are moving in here. They just live in rocks and stuff. And I mean, they have their appeal, but
Yeah.
it's pretty
So,
cool.
I think that, for me to fill a tank with, say, 50, 60 small fish and get that big cool schooling effect, So, if you design it right and it's a big enough tank, that's something that I would really like to do in the next competition. Aquascape tank is going to be a school type scenario. So I've got a vision in my head and I can't draw
Aquascape
anything.
competition. Oh, what do you do?
So,
Oh, honey, I'm an aquascaper. Is that how that goes?
yeah, yeah. You got it. The Logan Rand. You got to
Yeah.
check out his
No, I haven't
shorts,
seen it.
and it's like he's interviewing people on the street, ask like walking up the hot girls, like, "Would you date a guy with 5 fish tanks?"
I got. That sounds like something I do. That's I have to check it out. That's pretty cool.
Hello, Oscar. How are you? Oscar's in the house. So what else?
Nice.
Longfin cherry barbs.
Are the
Nice.
only barbs I have.
Yep.
I have longfin cherry barbs. I got a whole entire tank of them. I got stock from 2 different people. Did I get what? Oh, I think you know what? I think I bought these at the annual event up there.
Yeah, you bought a bunch of fish at that. Because I was moving stuff out of the cooler to because plants need
It
temperature.
happens.
So yeah, we were buying stuff, but
Do you guys? Do you guys have clown knife fish? Is he just eating everything from the top, or do they like to jump out? I don't know. I'm gonna have to put a lid on
cover
it.
that.
I will. It's quarantine over there. I'm sorry, you guys. I keep looking over here. I don't have everything lidded up, and I have a clown knife fish in quarantine.
He's
eating
keeps hitting
off
the
top.
water. Yeah, hitting off the top of the water. And he has to say,
yeah, I do like the barbs though.
They will jump.
Yeah, everything jumps. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I like that one. That was pretty.
That was a cool song.
Oh my gosh! So what else do we have going on? Some form of normalcy and maybe some formatting coming up here. We do have people lined up to come on and stuff now and start doing some fish room tours. So, so that'll be cool. It's fun just to come and sit and chat too, though. Especially when you can just sit and talk and then chat with people on here too. It's not too bad.
Take fish from the tongs. Yeah, well, that's true. He's saying they can be trained to take fish from the tongs. Hand feed them.
Yeah.
Better than him trying to jump out, hitting something and accidentally jumping out of the water. But needless to say, it's pretty interesting. It's distracting just to have this fish keep hitting the water top. And you're like, oh yeah, it jumped out.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I mean, listen, that's your gig. It's too big.
Well, it's actually already too big. And mainly a young kid wanted to buy it. No, I know.
Was this like a bucket list?
That's just when you said that. That's why I said a young kid wanted to buy it. Was it a bucket list fish? Yeah, and I ripped it from his hands. No, but I know that his parents went outside, and I know he has a 20-gallon tank, and they were getting some food, and he was getting ready to start bidding on this, and I was sitting by him, and they were just talking about how he had some cute little mollies and he got some guppies.
Oh boy!
So that's why I just bid on it right away, and I went over with. I don't even know what they asked.
Yeah.
And then I think I did that thing where I outbid myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have him. The thing is I know that we can contain him. He'll live with the turtle and the pacu. It's an excuse to get another big fish. Yeah, the pacu and turtle probably will do fine together. And if the pacu and turtle ever go somewhere, guess what? They're going to go with the clown knife fish now too if they ever leave here.
Yeah.
So,
but it's a
plus they it just is what it is. I never had one.
Yeah, never had one. Now it could be a bucket list fish.
It's pretty fun.
Do you got a bucket list fish? Anybody that you want?
What are your guys?
What do you want? What's a fish that if you're not your present condition, just like you had a tank that would fit it, what would be your bucket list fish? For me, man, that's a hard one. Honestly, you mean totally truthful. If it was like too easy and somebody else dealt with it, I would like goldfish, like really nice, expensive goldfish. But it's there's a whole new spectrum for me. No plants and cold water.
Yeah,
and, like But yeah, I know. But it's not. But then I want somebody else to deal with it. It's like my
That's
house is
it.
too hot.
So I got the 2, and let me tell you, they grew on me right away.
They're cute.
Yeah,
They're
cute.
You
They're
know,
just
they,
like
you know,
little
some,
red cap
they make some
Orlando's.
TikTok videos with some cute.
Yeah, they live in a
goldfish.
They live in a 160 which I'm glad I was at. I think it was Richard Reynolds' house picking up a pistols. You guys, they are on the website now. I was out there, and it looked like I thought it was a piece of decor in the fish tank. The dang thing looked like a softball bloated in the tank, and it was a big fantail goldfish.
Wow.
It was absolutely cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Like goldfish, or even if I had, like, we went to, I told you the name of the place. We were in Miami last week where it was freezing cold. And what was that? I said there's a street name around here on Cape Valentine. It's a beautiful, beautiful, turn of the century home that's in a state that is now part of Dade County.
Or something.
Biscaya, yeah. And it was beautiful, beautiful garden in the back. And I'm looking at this going, they absolutely had, there's trenched out areas. They had to have fish in trenches in a goldfish,
fish in trenches.
Yeah,
you can put fish
it was a rose garden, but big cement trench. Oh, beautiful, beautiful place. I definitely want to go back when it's warmer. There's a lot to walk through, but if I could have some big koi, something like that, yeah, they're cool, but nothing I would want to keep right now.
Right on. Overly stuffed Oscar, stingray or two again. Yeah, stingrays are cool. Me, a bucket list fish right now. Sometimes it changes. I can't say the name, but it sounds like Galossolopolis.
Okay.
Maybe I'm nowhere near.
It's
the rainbow fish.
It's a rainbow fish.
Yes, and LRB has some not available, but I know I think there's some on Aquabit and stuff right now. They're like $200 for fry. I think right now probably a rainbow fish variety. There's a couple I look at. Like just for really like the end all for me would be like a tiger shark.
Yeah, I mean, like the one thing that I was just thinking about when you said that would be totally changing up everything would be an octopus, but I don't know if I could deal with the heartbreak. They just all of a sudden they just stop eating, and it's part of their life cycle. They just refuse to eat and it ends up dying. But it's such a inquisitive and weird creature. It comes out of the tank, can breathe air. It's so cool, and I mean, totally sucked in the wormhole watching the videos of people with octopuses. So yeah, if I can have an otter and a beaver and
I was watching a video the other day that Drew taught his octopus how to play the piano, and I thought this has got to be the most fake thing. So then I started like looking into the guy, and no, like the dude. I want to see what this is right now.
Click it.
We gotta click it. If cost is no factor, I'd like to keep a species tank of Tanganyikian emperors. I guess I right now don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but they're saying like he's saying costs was no factor.
No, I'm trying to think the fish.
Well,
maybe I do know. I know a lot of fish from there. Well, we could Google it.
But needless to say, I get it. Something of no thing. Octopus is smart.
Oh yeah,
fascinating
way
fish,
too smart.
Yeah, no, and that
you know, and then you're gonna change its own water.
I mean, I was like this close to going salt. Have you ever had a salt tank?
Yeah.
So like I my problem is I'm over the top, and I'm gonna end up doing a reef tank, and I'm gonna spend more money than I have. And I think that like one big thing, I mean, it's been very common in the reefing industry is the high tech, the computer controlled tank. The one that
we didn't have any of that.
So like, I mean, but now in 2026, right, you can do it. So now there's stuff that I really want to look into for the high tech Planet Aquarium, where you're dosing pumps and you're you can control your CO2 through it. So it gives you all the readings, and you could Wi-Fi your tank. You would know if there's a big temperature change. You would control your heaters.
Yeah, that's
so
just
it's
so
like,
much.
well, we were talking about Eheim and the
Yeah,
filters going into different flow rates, and you could have day and nighttime flow to simulate. So if it helps for breeding,
There's a boat anchored
know.
downstream.
Yeah,
I mean, for real, that thing is cool.
Or it's designed to work with the auto feeder, so the auto feeder kicks on and it shuts your filter off for a set amount of time, and then your filter comes on, so you're not just feeding your filter food.
Do you guys turn your filters off?
I give that tip, but I just don't. I just I'll just clean the filter, and so.
That's one of those do as I say, not as I do things.
I mean, listen, I don't expect people to do what I do in the sense of maintenance and the sense of care of the tank. It is excessive, it is extreme, but it's my enjoyment. That's why I spend the time with it, and I spent the money to spend the time with it, not to spend 5 minutes with it. I want to spend the time.
Do you wash your filters in tap water?
It doesn't matter, but all my stuff.
It doesn't matter if I do or not. I'm not going to tell you.
No, if I have to quick clean a sponge, what I do is I'll wash it out in tap water, and then I rinse it with RO water, just so that any chlorine is out of it. And I don't have to worry about a dechlorinator. But ultimately, your tap water isn't a disinfectant, and it's not killing a significant amount of bacteria. The contact
it's just water, right?
Just water. The contact time's not long.
I like to get it.
Like that's the science
jump
end of
on
it.
it and stuff, and I just think that they're fine clean. A lot of people are like only use tank water. I'll recommend to use tank water to people because a lot of times maybe you don't know what's coming out. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
but I just don't all the time. I don't.
The whole thing is that I think a lot of the myths that came up with like don't change your water, these things you hear about, people, if you change your water too often, then you'll crash your cycle, which isn't true. So I could do 100% water change and not shock my fish because I'm putting exactly the same temperature, water hardness, carbonate hardness. The water structure is completely the same. It was just like the fish was in a river, and that's fresh water each time. So the idea is that as long as it's stable,
yours is stable, fine. And a lot of people just don't have that.
Here's the thing that a beginner doesn't get into is like right now the water coming out of our taps is much colder than ever. So you battle hot water here in Florida. Your tap water 83 plus. You have to let it sit out. You a lot of times he's not changing the water right out of the tap. He's letting it sit out, or he changes part of it and then uses sit out water.
I don't
to lower the temperature.
I'm 84 at night.
Yeah,
so I change water between 9 and 10 o'clock at night because I have to.
Yeah,
but now it's cold. So
so now if you went out and took the water out of our tap, it's cold. It's and now you dump that into your tank, you're going to shock your fish. The temperature is going to be totally different. So all my water is prepped in bins because I'm remineralizing. So I'm temperature and mineralizing, acclimating all my water before it goes in. But if a beginner goes out and changes to get a Python, and they don't know the temperature match, but the problem that I'll bring up with a Python temperature match is that your water out of your hot water heater is much hotter than the water that is your cold water. And I have a less than 2-year-old hot water heater, and I see about 70 to 80 TDS difference from my hot water and my cold water. So I'm putting a lot more minerals that have built up in the hot water heater into your tank.
What if you have a hot water heater that is tankless?
It's just the element. I don't know. It's we'd have to do the test to know for sure, but I think it's more.
If any of you guys know about that, let us know or drop a comment in the chat. I'd be curious about that. Like, is it some buildup that's inside the hot water heater because it's being stored in there, and the tankless water heater is just running through a clean sponge filter, let it dry. If it has blackbeard algae, etc., I put it in the shrimp tank and they clean the blackbeard algae off.
Wait. I had blackbeard algae on a sponge filter.
Yeah.
So I put it in the microwave.
What happened?
It killed it all.
Yeah.
Like 10 seconds. Then I probably cut it short but I was like, I want to see if it'll kill it. And it killed everything was red within an hour.
Did you know if I put gasoline on a sponge with it?
Well, I would probably kill it and everything that sponge.
Dude, it makes the sponge though, is what I was getting at. How's the sponge?
Yeah, the sponge will be fine.
What made you think of that?
I was just like, I don't want to bleach this thing and then have to.
I mean, sometimes we just go like that guy itched my head there. You just think of things. You're like, and That's how everything's found out.
I
Really.
mean, easily I could. And the whole thing is like people are scared of bleach. Just use bleach correctly. The only reason I keep dechlorinators is to work with bleach in my aquariums. So I'll bleach something and then I'll sit it in, soak it through a dechlorinator, and basically it's got to come back and pass the smell test. I need that. And if I can't do that and I smell bleach at all, it sits. And I mean, even rinsing my hand in a dechlorinator would sometimes, because they'll get it on my hands, is the only way I can get it off. Or I just, if I touch bleach and I can smell it on my hands, I'm not sticking them in the tank. So it's about just, understanding, the right things. But
dude, I think it's 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter what time it is.
Mhm.
We were supposed to play. You guys want to play a game? Because if you do, you're going to have to go somewhere else and play one. We're not going to play a game today. Sorry. We're just sitting here chatting and having fun. We could play a couple of trivia questions.
I put the sponge filter in the microwave for 10 seconds.
Yeah. I just
out of curiosity if it would kill it. And everything was red. Everything was red.
He did.
Smell
he
test.
Actually did say that out loud.
Yeah, the smell test is like, if there is a problem with your tank, like you should be across your fish tank. If you can't do that, you got an issue. Do a water change. Something's wrong.
That could be that.
All right, let's play a game. What's your game?
I just
come on.
I have some. Well, yeah, but now we're just running. So, anyways, I did have a few trivia questions just to kill time and stuff, and they're easy trivia questions like usual. Where do I have them? That's the comments.
I don't know.
And then we lost audio and stuff. Never thought of that. Microwaving sponges. Can
we not?
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. I'm sorry. I'm laughing about the microwave sponges. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, you guys. So there is a couple of trivia questions we could ask here.
Mm-hmm.
They're just simple, nice, easy ones like usual, Uncle Joe style. And that's the answer.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
What water parameters does crushed coral naturally raise over time?
Oh,
that's
you gotta
start. You gotta start easy, but actually sometimes people get
hard by crushed coral or basically calcium will basically buffer your pH and allow you to raise your pH level. But it does also, calcium is part of your water hardness, your GH, which is magnesium and calcium. So it raises your general hardness and your carbonate.
So it's just much more deeper than just your pH too.
Yeah. And actually, so I run crushed coral. So if you, once again, go to my video about the UNS, but I actually showed that. No, I don't. And I don't, there's no affiliate link for UNS or anything. It was just the last video.
Yeah.
But I talk about, I put my crushed coral in that tank because I set all my tanks water the same, but I use the crushed coral in that tank for stability, so I don't have to worry and think about it. And the idea is that it just keeps a good buffer. That tank is always going to be 7.4 to 7.6. That's the pH of that tank, because crushed coral's reaction stops at that pH.
Right. So I was reading some stuff the other day, and it was from some older papers, and they kept talking about crushed coral and riprap and stuff like that.
Aragonite.
Stopping and maxing out it up to 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd never heard or learned that before, and I always knew 7.6, 7.2.
The whole thing is that the reaction becomes so slow at that point that
you're talking sitting stagnant water.
Really, eventually it'll completely end at that point in the 8s, but it could basically hit 7.6, just stops.
Okay, and that's what I thought too, because you could leave the saltwater tanks and stuff. They just sit and they're just idle like that.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, it's fun to play trivia and sometimes get to talk a little bit about the stuff too. And people did get it right. Also, I figured a couple of people.
Well, you gave them the answer first. So, yeah.
Oh, so it was hard. It was actually probably a little harder than I thought.
Okay.
Huh. I mean, that's okay. I might have already did this one.
No. Which South American cichlid group
yeah,
is known for
It's fish for Indian.
earth-eating behavior? You are. Thank God I'm asking you this question because I have no
No
clue.
idea.
I'm gonna have to look at the answer.
Yeah,
but you wrote the question, so I think it's a little unfair.
I've talked about these recently. If anybody watches any of the videos or anything like that, I think I put a couple of them out. If anybody pays any attention, we'll actually be talking about these pretty soon with a friend of ours.
And what are they?
Geophagus.
Geophagus. What's SP?
Species.
Oh, species.
Geophagus species.
Okay.
The ones we have here that we'll be talking about with Mr. Fernando next week are the Altasino gold dust earth eaters that he bred, which, well, I can't even drop the news. We'll have to wait until we have Anthony on here. Another good, I think it's a milestone, and I would be proud if I was Anthony. So we'll talk about that with him coming up. You guys want to know what it is? I know you do. Anthony, you probably don't even know what it is, do you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Anthony. I don't know how to get back to clear the Geophagus.
I don't really know a lot of the stuff. You have to go back into like banner, and then you have to hide. Yeah.
Thank you.
It should have been on a timer.
Okay, you can ask me question number 3 because
we will talk about geos though. So just a little bit about those, because the geos would not work in your tanks.
Just plant eater.
The sifting. Your plants would be everywhere.
Well, like like we were just talking about this. Like another fish I'd love to get would be a goby, but I'd have to have a tank situated for a goby because of the sifting.
Cute.
They're so cute.
Yeah, they just they go be around.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about there are some fish tanks that I want to build that are about the fish and not really about the overall picture, so a lot of the stuff I've done isn't really focusing on the fish itself, so I want to do a couple of things like that.
Yeah, tanks like that are super cool. Speaking of the geos, that fish from tour that I need to get you to edit video for me for, that is one of the things that he collects when he's over there. And I got to see a couple new ones. Now, I'm told they're new by the people who collected them, and they're not around in the hobby. And that's what I'm told. I can find information dating like 10 years ago back on them, so I don't know what to say about that.
But they may not be available.
Well, I think the pictures I'm seeing are from the people who got it first ever even found them maybe 10 years ago. And I also have another new geo here that I can't remember the name, but it's another kind of blue one. And for the life of me, I had it pulled up before I decided to shut all this off. And I have those too. But do any of you guys keep geos? I know Anthony does. Obviously, we'll be talking to him next week. But I don't know. I think they're pretty cool.
No, I don't. It's all about plants. Plants. I focus on my pea puffers. My pea puffer tank is built.
Oh, that's a funny question. With a question mark. On the fish podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
but because I'm the plant guy,
he's a plant guy, not a fish.
But I love my pea puffers, and my pea puffer tank is built for the pea puffers, and it's designed for them and their lifestyle. Tons of hiding, line of sight breaks, to stop aggression, and I have a very successful.
Do you have a lonely pea puffer that doesn't have any friends?
Yeah.
Do your friends have pea puffers that need homes?
If
you do, contact Uncle Joe. We'll give him the bill.
Well, I might. You still have those? Do you still have those pea puffers? Because I might.
We can get. Yeah, their pea puffers are so cute. They're cute at your house. I can't do it. They're a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
They look like you really have to spend a lot of time with them. But when I watch the videos you have on YouTube, did you know, you guys, Bill has a thing about this new little fish tank that was having problems. We talked about it before.
Which one?
Your new video.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't remember the name. Dang it! I like watching the pea puffer videos on your channel. They are really super fun.
No, it's a few of my peas are quite old, and I'm down to a few, but I've got 2 that I had from you, and they're going into that tank. But I think we're gonna have to put a couple more in. With the new design, I redid the tank. It's really thinking that I can get more than 8 in that tank and still be fine. So, but I do. The fish, are exactly 3/4, half an inch. They're very small.
So you don't pack them in like they do cichlids?
No,
not 36.
No. Well, the problem is that they have such personality that they will eventually square off. But what's really cool about pea puffers is that they're all born female, and then one turns male and becomes the dominant male. And then so if you introduce adults together and they're males, they'll fight.
I'm
That's
so
why.
sorry.
Yeah, it's
I know that's real, and every time that's
Yeah.
brought up, I think of the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no way.
no way.
No.
But yeah, they're all yeah. So and then one goes butch,
That's
and
just,
then that's
and
it.
it's on.
It's on.
Yeah, that's
on.
so cool.
And then so what I've had was that I had one turn male, and I just think nobody challenged him, and he's not very dominant. So and you look for a brown stripe on him, and I can't ever find a stripe on any of the fish. So I think that he's just not dominant enough to assert. And so now there's no males in the tank. So you asked me, like, can you get these to breed? I said, I wonder if I can get them to breed. And I'm like having all these problems with them. Yeah, but
That's
listen,
just the luck of the draw.
but it's good because it's pushing my education on them too. So it's interesting. But no, I mean, I don't really focus on fish in the sense of that I have a bunch of different species of fish, but I am in the process of unloading all the fish I have on Jody and then getting new fish. So which will come from the shed.
Bill has nice fish, you guys. When we get them, we'll some of them we'll take to Fish Club, and we'll
I have
definitely
some
sell them,
beautiful
give some
mud
away.
guppies.
You have some. There's
So just,
really super
let them go
pretty
wild
fish.
and just they're really just been great.
Hello, Timo. I think it says, "Hey, Jody." There, Timo must have hopped in. Let's see what is it?
Amazon
I'm
puffers.
gonna peek at the screen.
I'm really down that road of like, I really would love like other puffers, but the expense gets crazy. And they can live so long. So and it's hard when you have somebody else come feed your fish. That's the problem with like having an exotic pet like that. Like right now, I'm blessed to have my girlfriend's son. He's a fish guy, so I can have somebody feed my fish. But I don't trust people. If I go away, I'd rather not feed my fish than let somebody feed my fish. So which is nice because then when he goes away, he can have me feed his fish.
It is nice. But my wife, I love her. She the fish shed always has clean towels, and she makes sure, if she notices something over, she'll be like, like, oh, do you want some help with the dishes? And she's really nice. Did I just make my wife?
Yeah, I
do that to my kids. I'm in trouble. Anyways, I can't have her feed the fish when I'm gone because I can see in the other tanks, and I'll be like, what's falling in the what's falling in that tank back there? And she won't lie to me. She'll be like, and she'll try to say something else, or she'll just be honest, and she'll go, well, they look hungry. And I'm like, have you ever have you ever not seen a hungry fish? Like I can tell they're hungry in the pictures. Yeah. When I look at it, like, that's a hungry fish. Yeah. Anyone you see. So yeah, I think it's just best sometimes that they I think they're fine. They are a great micro predator, and it's great for like snails. So it's like, because I have snails in the other tanks, I have like an abundance of food. I do darrow worms for a live food for them, which has pretty much eliminated my need to buy them food, in the world. So I have very little food budget because just keeping the darrow worms and snails, has really made it so much easier. Not have to hatch baby brine shrimp, not having to, be something that's so involving. Really darrow worms out of all the live foods you're gonna feed is probably much easier. So. Yep. We were talking about what people like and stuff, and I noticed that Dennis had said he's focusing on rams after Anthony put his thing up there. Rams are super cool. It's another dwarf cichlid. It's just another small fish in the way the hobby's going, and I think that is a true dwarf cichlid. I'm
just saying he's checking in late. Yes.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a turtle. Like in some of the ones that they call like. Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong here, divided by 0. We should be calling a friend right now. I wish we had him on speed dial. Anthony, and then we could hear him on here. I have a question. Are Corobia actually a dwarf cichlid? Where does that number stop off? Some people say they're dwarf cichlid, some don't. An epistle seems like a dwarf to me. A Corobia just seems like an angry midget or angry short person. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's just small. Like a smaller one, but I don't know. So
No.
People want to. Okay, good. Because they're just a small cichlid. They're just a flat out no.
Wait. This one.
I could hear
Cobia-
Anthony's
Cobia-
tone knowing
yeah.
me too.
Cobia
No.
is not a dwarf cichlid. They can get too big. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just that. So this is funny. They will eat shrimp. So I have Nera caridina, red cherry shrimp, and a mono shrimp with pea puffers. The red cherries are too fast, and they're culls. So the culls went in that tank, right?
Oh.
And
So they just zoot away.
and they will not go near the a mono shrimp. Mono shrimp
the
are
mono shrimp will
significantly bigger than a pea puffer. So yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I've been told more than once that the Amano shrimp can predate on baby fish and baby fry. I've seen them holding on to a CPD, but I don't know if it grabbed it or not, or if it was one, because that was actually just recently when it first started getting cold. I did lose a few CPDs in the cold, and I don't know, but I wouldn't. They're bigger than the pea puffers by quite a bit.
Yeah. So
I can imagine.
But it's just kind of the way it's old and working, and I think that a lot of it goes to the tank has so much surface area and so many hides in it that everybody's got a place. And I could not see shrimp for a long time, and all of a sudden like, oh, look, red cherry shrimp.
There goes one. Right on.
So are they breeding in there? Probably not. It's a natural food source for them. So if they can get to them, I think a big part of is that it's not a breeding tank. So to try and breed pea puffers in a tank that's not really a breeding design is really hard, because you're actually relying on nature to see its way through an egg scatter in a tank that is you're gonna have enough hide so that they don't get eaten until they're big enough. That's a long time.
Because the parents eat the babies too?
Well, the egg scatterers, there's no stopping. Once you drop that egg, that ain't mine. I ain't know what my stuff. So it's a thing.
Yeah, I just think the barbs and stuff like that. It's really dry out. I don't think I can barely even drink enough water.
Yeah,
the cutoff is usually 3 to 4 inches. But so
talking about the Crobia.
Yeah. For where the dwarfs, even 4 inches is pushing it for me, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
4 inches. I mean, as far where we're seeing stuff going and whatnot. It's another thing when you were bringing that up before that catches me is the nano tanks and where stuff's going. How people are going to. I just think they need to start with a bigger tank. That's all. It's a whole other subject.
Well,
it sure is.
This was a great discussion that Mexicali and I had about the tank size, and a big part of that, is that I feel like a bigger tank is easier for a beginner, and it's the beginner trap to get a 10-gallon because the parameters could move so quickly in less water. It's harder to affect more water. So a bigger tank would actually be easier. So like a 20 is more realistic, and even 20 is not that much water, but first person I ever heard say this was Corey from Aquarium Cove. He goes, "You don't think 5 gallons is a lot of water? Go take a bucket of water and throw it on your floor and tell me it's not a lot of water." so no, I get it. But at the same time, I think it's a little bit easier. But Mexicali's point is that you have this little 5-gallon. I could easily do a water change with a jug. It's so much less. I said, that is an experienced keeper that understands that the water change and working on the tank is part of its life and part of owning it, and that is part of how to do it. It's the person who buys it and then asks, how do I take care of this thing? That's why we see on the forums people going, how often do I change the water? Like, they're asking the question after they own a tank. They don't understand what's really going to be expected of them going in.
The question's asked after you've already done something.
Yeah.
Should I add this to my aquarium? No, absolutely do not. Well, I did, and the fish are now upside down. Yeah. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
All we can do is hope, and people have to learn. And
they'll
get on to one of my tangents here.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what, no,
people
be mean. And then they're not cool, and you get me on a tangent of people not being able to learn. I saw Aquafunk on something.
Aquafunk was on the Mexicali interview, and nobody told him about Tropical Splash, and he was really upset.
Oh, that's the guy where I think he wasn't supposed to go, right? That one?
No, he was.
No.
He was.
I don't know.
We weren't supposed to tell him about it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I did see him on. That's where I saw him. Was it the day after you, or a couple days after you? I saw something pop up.
Oh, I mean, it could have been something else.
No, it was on Mexicali's thing. I'm almost positive it was when you said that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's and this right here. No one does their research for it. So like that was a big part. That's like actually, how I ended up in this, and I talked about it on Mexicali, was like, it had an ex that bought a fish tank and didn't know how to take care of it. Next thing you know, the thing's blowing up, and I'm getting
$10,000 later.
Yeah, she calls me up crying, everything's dying, and that's how I got into it. Was like, well, I want to make sure this doesn't happen again. What happened? It was a bacterial bloom, and then the next thing you know, I run into aquascaping, and I'm like, wow, you could do this. Wow, this is amazing. I want one of these in my living room, and now I want 5 of them in my living room. And so it's like it's been a journey through the exposure after it was in life. Now I didn't go out and buy one and then learn. So I already knew when I bought my first, but I fell for the 10-gallon trap. I said, well, I don't know if I really want this commitment in life. Let me just get a 10-gallon. And so I bought this small one, and then I'm buying, reactor CO2, because I can't just leave it alone. I have to mess with the thing.
Well,
so, and now I'm trying to, and it was the first time I ever got a plant to pearl, was in that tank. It was a 10-gallon with CO2.
To pearl?
Oh, in photosynthesis, you can watch this. The water is saturated with oxygen ready, so bubbles come off the plants.
Cool, sorry.
Yeah. It's reverse rain. So pearl weed, that's what it does. It pearls. It easily pearls. So my tank, I just put some pearl weed in there, and it's just it snows upside down in the tank. So it's a lot of fun.
So anyways, this one, you guys, this is a bit of a trickier one here. So for all you new people, don't feel bad if you get it wrong, because a lot of the really smart people are going to get this one wrong too. I'm going to throw this up here.
Mm-hmm.
There was
you did already.
I know. I just want everybody to make sure they did know that this wasn't the correct one. Which plant is famous for carpeting but notoriously slow growth without CO2? This is our last question today. We can talk about plants for a little bit.
Monte Carlo.
No.
Monte Carlo is tough, and without CO2 is very, very hard to grow. Very slow, and grows very sporadically. Doesn't really get the dense growth out of it. And I love Monte Carlo and dwarf Sag.
So do you have to have CO2 for Monte Carlo?
What?
Monte Carlo, no CO2.
You can, but it never really thrives. It becomes a lanky plant because you can't run enough light, so it's always stretching for light. So you need the CO2 so you can run the light high enough to get the plant to grow densely.
No thanks, Aquafunk. I'm married. Sorry. It's cool. Like keeping fish, the trivia questions have many different answers in different ways too, because you pointed that out too when I had this, because I'm not like Mr. Trivia guy. I'm using AI and asking the computer.
Maybe just
and then you're like, well, this one, or that one, and I'm like, no, Bill, there's just one.
Bill can't play a game. Bill gets all factual. So I'm like, well, dwarf hairgrass, very slow.
I'm like, can we just use the first one that it said and you said? But I don't need a shag like carpet.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Like, this is a shag plant?
No, but shag carpet in your tank would be cool.
It would be.
Really cool.
Dude, could you that Lehigh Acre stuff there?
Yeah.
Be like heaven.
Yeah.
Right in the fish tank.
I saw a guy on YouTube cut open a couch, take a foam out of the couch, and grow durrow worms on it. The foam there. So there's people doing all sorts of creative things out there, but needless to say, nobody hit it yet. Nobody's got the third one.
No,
so
I told you it's a trick. There was literally, I love it. Maybe, you know what?
I'm curious. What is it about the cats that you don't have CO2? Is it you're worried that they'll get into it, or break open a line, or what is it? I'm just curious. Like, you know,
So
I
much,
don't. I have
so much
cats.
to
Yeah.
learn.
I mean, I bought a tank from somebody
Maybe cats
that
would be around
sold their tank because the cats wouldn't leave the tank alone, and so this girl bought motion activated sprayers. So every time the cat tried to
That's
jump
funny.
on the tank, it would spray with water. And then she goes, "Yeah, but then I can't go near the tank either because it sprays me too." So yeah,
Oh my god, my cats would probably be like, "Wow," going in there all the time.
yeah, they would play in there. Yeah, they would. I get that. So the reason that doesn't have CO2 is because the cats would, and I grew up with cats. I totally get it. I've had four, and they'll just f with it, and they're monsters. Love them, but they're monsters.
You guys,
I have
I
dogs
would
now.
imagine there's.
I have dogs now. They just eat the food. They just eat everything.
I would imagine there's a few smart people in there that do have questions on that, know a little bit of stuff. We have to start getting. We have to work in this outline a little bit and stump Aquila. See if people can give me some plant questions you can't answer. That would also require me looking up the
Yeah.
answer because I'm just going to believe what you say. So
Yeah.
then I'll be like, "No, Aquafunk, you're wrong," because Bill said it. Because
I can just
you
make
know,
things up then.
you could. So I'll have to be able to fact check them first. So we're gonna figure this out.
We're gonna
That could be
figure
a
it out.
game.
But the name of the plant that's on Jody's list that you wanna give them the
Oh,
the
yeah.
answer that came up here.
Yeah,
So
pearlweed.
pearlweed.
It was
Like,
the last
that
word
was- we
said
just-
before I put up the question. That is what I know to be factually true from the computer.
Yeah, and really the it's got, just like everything else, there's a scientific name and there's a sale name. And not that I'm going to sit here and say I keep all the scientific names. I don't know the scientific name for it. But what it is that 99% of the plants that we keep in the aquarium hobby are actually not supposed to be submerged. They just survive submerged. So they're variants usually of some sort of, very common plant. And so we get these plants, and there's always, new things coming out, and there's new, results from, what people are trying. So I find that exciting, and there's a bunch of new stuff coming out. I just dropped like $50 on moss. Like, I have a problem, but I want. It's going to be like a really dense. I don't want to drop the name because I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it's a very dense, flat moss, like almost like you would see if you were out in the woods and like you get that carpet on the ground. I want that tough carpet look, so I can kind of fill in some wood pieces, and it'd be great. Like moss like that is great to cover up where you join pieces together, and you don't want to look like a band-aid, but at the same time you can let it grow out and be much more natural. So I think that moss growth look on the pea pupper tank coming up the wood would be really cool. So
Yeah,
and the whole thing is that I've learned is that you can't just buy one, you buy two. And what I always do is that
oops,
I
there's
buy.
a third.
Well, yeah,
Because you got a third one in case one of the two
in
has
case one
died.
or
So
two
you still have
dies.
two.
So you buy one, but what I like to do is that like I have a known
I'm so dry.
really strong growing tank, and then if I have a problem, I haven't lost it all. I can propagate that, and grow it out. Like you gave me, like, oh, make sure this plant lives, so which is part of the challenge, So overall, I think that it's like it's the fun experiment of seeing what will survive and what won't.
I'll do it again.
So wasser tank, how much you want?
Tell you what.
Grow it in CO2. It's like it
a
never
little bit of
stops.
it here. I love this stuff because of how it stacks.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something the other day where plants and where they come from, and I was watching this guy on Facebook, and the tag is Aquastaping Negroes. He lives, and I forget where he lives. I think you follow him, because I think I added you.
Yeah, I follow him, but
the dude like be out in the river and like picking the plants out and like showing the crypts, and they're just
monsters.
Monsters. Yeah. The other day I was looking at something, and I think it was he was showing them growing out of the water.
Yep.
And I don't know what he's saying on there.
Yeah.
But so then it made me wonder: can they grow up both?
So,
Can it go in both,
so
or do
like,
these just as the water goes away and it keeps living? Because they look like
yeah,
a healthy green plant. They didn't look like the leaves were falling over. Like if I took a plant out of the water, they'd all be like,
yeah.
and it looked like it was a growing plant.
Every plant is going to adapt for its own personal environment. So that plant is adapted to work in both, submerged state and an immersed state. So the idea is that the plant like Bucephalandra is that's kind of like its design is that part of the year in the rainy season it's underwater because the water levels are high in the river, and then as it drops down, the water levels in the dry season it becomes exposed. But even when it's exposed, it's under a pretty big head cover from the forest. So there is a pretty low light plant. Now bombard it with light, CO2, and keep it submerged, and it'll grow much hardier and colorful. And that's the big part of it is that you can make plants express different things based on nitrogen levels and based on other food and availability to CO2. So what are you typing here? So
I was typing that to you
yeah.
to note, yeah, and then usually if you
I
type
can't
in there,
read.
then I thought about that, and so then I can type that in there and be like, "Yo, Bill, it's getting close to 8:30, so I'm going to lead off to this, and I'm probably 9:30." And I was going to ask you a little bit about because usually we just be closing up with some ethics and stuff. So I was going to ask you and tell you something that I was learning the other day about ethically sourcing. Now, fish, I understand, and I never thought about it in the aquarium trade with anything besides fish. And it clicked in really super well to stories I hear from here in the Florida Everglades with our orchids.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta watch where your plants come from because sometimes people be out in the wild stealing plants.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading where they bust people in customs.
Yeah,
with like huge loads of plants. So
yeah.
I
mean, I think that's like there are a lot of plants that are in the hobby that are very unique and very cool, but they're also very limited where they come from in the world. Same with fish.
Yeah.
It's like pea puffers come from 2 rivers in India. That's it. That's all there are in the world.
So there's like 2 different kinds of pea puffers?
There's actually 2 different types, and they
Do they
cannot.
look different?
There are slight differences. One is a black spot. One is an iridescent spot. They're both called pea puffers, and their scientific name is slightly different, and they cannot crossbreed. You cannot breed one with the other, and it's a really deep dive.
Shouldn't?
No,
or
it
doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, besides the preaching of ethical sourcing and conservation and doing your part and keeping stuff clean and really doing all you can for your fish, you guys. Another thing I want to touch on is your plants. Now
I'll talk to you. I'm very curious to know about that. We'll go about that later. He's saying there's a new one. He says one from West Java now, which is great. That's and I love that information and learning and stuff like that. So but there is I mean it's been so long since I've really deep dove the science side of it, and I don't want to quote out of line, and Divide by Zero is our friend, and I know that he's an authority in the fish breeding area much more than me, so I can take that with some realistic and he's an authority. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I want to learn. Oh wow, they found more because there are environmental issues that have driven fish out of extinction and driven them into areas, and then we're finding them later, reemerging in different areas.
I thought you were talking about a new kind of Java moss. And
no, he's talking about pea puffers.
Well, now I want pea puffers.
Yeah. Well, listen.
These are the iridescent ones. So
one is an iridescent spot on it. I'd have to look into the ones I have. Do not, and I don't know which.
So I'd get the blingy ones.
But you can keep them together. They just
if I got these, mine would be blingy.
Yeah, you'd be the bling.
You have better plants. I'd have better pea puffers.
You'd have the bling puffer.
Bling puffers.
Listen. If you get some bling puffers, I'm on it.
Oh,
I'll
we have to
take
find
it.
them. Dan's
Yeah.
Fish has them.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to go
Dan's Fish
look.
has great stuff.
Yeah.
Anthony sold his chromia there.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and they're beautiful fish. We have them. We have some here on our website too.
Well, I mean, just, right around that same topic of ethically sourcing your plants, same thing with breeding fish, where, sometimes you get wild because we can't breed them in captivity, or there isn't just enough to satisfy the hobby, so we're getting wild. But I think that a big part of the hobby should understand when you're buying wild and buying, hobby bred, or, that you may be up against a different scenario. That, like, a great example is people that get really strict on water structures, not paying attention from where the fish was raised. So there's a lot of fish that are bred in Florida in hard water that are not hard water fish. They will live in hard water, and they can live their entire life in hard water, and then people get them in a saltwater state and don't acclimate them correctly and end up hurting or killing the fish. So understanding a lot more than your fish and just understanding where it's coming from is, I think, very important too. And that we don't overstress the wild, but at the same time, we don't cut wild out, because that is industry for a lot of people in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It truly is, and they're moving mountains with that stuff. The plants too. That's just been tripping me out. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think that we had a good time. I think that it was a lot of fun. Thanks for everybody hanging out.
Yeah. Thanks for enjoying us, man. This is super fun. You guys, if any of you guys are in Florida, Georgia, anywhere near, Georgia's a bit of a drive, but
you can make it.
We have we have a really good auction. Our club is really strong. We get about 60 people. It's gonna be huge this time. Corey's gonna be speaking from Aquarium Co-op. Bill's gonna have Aqualust plants there. I'll probably bring a few fish. I'd imagine there'll be other great things there. You guys, if you're not in an aquarium club, make sure you join an aquarium club. Find one. You guys, thanks, Bill. Thank you guys very, very much. Good night and take care.